Welcome back to... this is 60, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
Welcome back to BC Procast episode 60. 60. Every time I get shocked about how many
Should you do
we've
clapping
done.
noise?
We have done 60 episodes as of now, and we didn't want anyone else besides this person to be on episode 60. So this is, some people call her Sahara, some people call her Sarah, some people call her the shooter.
Oh, what?
Oh, I see.
Because of photography.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was like...
And because she goes on spy missions.
Yep.
This is Sarah Burton.
Can we drop your last name?
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Oh,
Burton.
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 How'd you get that last name?
My dad.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
It was handed down to
You
me.
said you have a...
So, she is a dear and near person to us. She is amazing at a lot of different things, and it's going to be cool because we're going to find out a lot about that stuff on this podcast. We're going to dive a little bit into kind of like how she grew up, her passions, her career, where she wants to take that, and all the life experiences she's garnered over a short period of time with moving and different experiences and helping people. She's a very caring person, and once you find out about that and hear about that on this podcast, you're going to understand and realize you need your own Sahara in life.
Amen.
You know, I kind of like that trailer. I think we should do that for each guest. In the beginning, though, we'll do like that trailer. You're about to hear about this. Welcome to BC Procast, episode
With, like,
60.
Marvel music in the background.
Yeah.
Do you know what's great about that? Is like we know what we're talking about, but how many times do we come on here and we give each other the look of like who's starting?
Yeah.
And go.
You give each other the eyes.
We're like, all right,
All right.
you asked for this person to come on, or all right, say something. Oh, all right, you know this person better than me. So there's a lot of that stuff. I just know where this one is going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, like, how
Are you
this...
saying he doesn't know where this is going?
Thank you, Sarah. So anyway, Sarah, let's have some conversations now.
All right, so right before we started, me and you were talking a little bit about, like, what you're doing as of now. And I think what you're doing as of now is a perfect, like, representation of who you are as a person and your heart. So where are you at working and for your career and different things like that?
Yeah, so I work at this wonderful nonprofit that I don't know if I can drop the name.
You don't need to.
Do name and last name, please.
But we do disaster relief and everything to help the world, which is really incredible. It's just a dream job. I love it because I get to do something small. Like, I do email marketing, so I make all the emails look really pretty, and I just hang out. I go on walks every day with my friends, and it's so fun that I get to do that, but also just do something for God. And that's just helping so many people and showing love. But it's a dream.
You know, what's crazy about this is you got to this place where you're able to use your passion. But one thing that I find fascinating is... Wait, I'm sorry. Actually, let me make sure. When you were younger... Did you see a camera and like that was like your origin story and you grabbed it and then the scene cut and then now you're like taking photos, or how did this come about?
Well, I wanted to be a veterinarian when I was a kid, but then I was like, I'm not into school like that. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a nurse. Also realized I'm really not into school like that. And then I was like, well, I'm going to do special education, which I wanted to do for a long time. That's probably my biggest, like, thing. But then I started taking photos, and I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. So that's my dream job, but, like, where I'm at right now in marketing, I love it.
Were you in that group in high school, Best Buddies?
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to come on a couple times. It used to be a lot louder, which like made us jump a little bit more, and so it was like always like keeping us on our toes. But Were you in the group with Best Buddies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was the vice president.
So can you, first of all, talk about a little bit what that is and why special education? Like, why was that where your heartbeat was at?
Yeah, well, I started when I was, like, in elementary school during my recesses. I'd go over there and just hang out because I was like, what else am I going to do? I just wanted to hang out, and it just kind of was really nice to help people. I just, like, didn't be needed, so it was fun to just do that and make friends. And it was just not something a lot of people did. Like, no one really talked to anyone in that department or any kids that had special needs. And so it was really nice to just, I don't know, meet them. And some of them I grew up with and, like, I was in Girl Scouts with. And so, I don't know, it was just really cool to make friends and do that. And then I just kind of carried that up, started doing Best Buddies, and then had my buddy, Grace, she's the best. Love that girl. But I did that for a long time. And then at my high school, we did Joe to Go, which you guys know about. Mm-hmm. So I would help out there. It's like a coffee shop for all who don't know that we would do like once a week. And we would just make stuff and it would teach them about like actual worldly things of like how to work a cash register, how to make things, how to like prepare and count and like do inventory and stuff like that. So it was really practical.
Yeah.
But it also was like fun. So stuff like that where like we have all these classes and they teach you stuff like photography and it's like great, but it's like how much of everything is like actually you can take into the world. Mm-hmm. And so it was really cool to see them do that in such like a fun way.
Sarah, the more and more I hear you talk, the cooler you get. I kind of told you that yesterday where I was like, my love for you just skyrocketed. And I think Braedon knows this, but can you talk about like what you did in high school? So you did Best Buddies.
Yeah. I played lacrosse for 8 years.
She dominated in lacrosse. 8 years? I didn't know you did 8 years.
Mm-hmm. You were in high school for 8 years? No,
exactly.
I'm joking.
They held me back.
It's like they said I was too good, so
I'm actually like 26. I don't. No, I played lacrosse for 8 years, not just in high school. But then I also did competitive skiing for 2 years. So that was all in high school. And then...
Fitting. Your last name, Burton.
I know. It was kind of flex. I won't lie.
Do you know why I said that?
Yeah, because there's a brand named Burton.
Oh,
Burton snowboards. We do all the things.
I did get lucky. I did get so lucky. I didn't know that, by the way.
Someday I would love to claim that as my own company.
Just do it.
Just to be like, yeah, I just am the heir.
Just do it. You just gotta come to it and be like, yeah, my father started this. My grandfather.
I feel like I couldn't get away with father.
But you just say it had to be like grandfather.
Yeah,
you're saying, yeah,
because no one would know.
Or yeah, and then how you get to that place is you see someone with it on their thing and be like, hey,
I made that.
I like your boots. Wait, do they make boots?
Yeah.
Okay, I like your boots. And they, oh, thanks. He goes, I designed those.
Yeah, design them. I can show you the files if you want.
Look at my driver's ID.
You see that?
Driver's ID. Wait.
That's kind of...
That is right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Driver's license.
I know. I meant driver's ID license.
Hey, don't try to save him. He's digging his hole.
I just... So you did skiing. You did...
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse and Best
Buddies, yeah.
And skiing, you did professional skiing. Did you know that? Dude, when I found that out, I was like, there's no way. I've known you for that long, and I didn't know that. So I asked her, I was like, what did you do in skiing?
So there's giant slalom and slalom. So I was on the junior varsity.
What are each of those?
Varsity.
What do those mean?
So giant slalom is like the big gates that you curve around and you're going past them. It's less of hitting them down. You're just kind of cutting as close as you can to them. And then there's slalom, which is the ones that when you look down the hill, it looks like a straight line of gates, but you have to go in between them. And you are like flying over them and you have these arm guards that you are hitting them down with. And you have like shin guards. So usually the first hit when you hit the gate is with your leg because you are cutting so close. So it's just like a bam, bam, bam. and they were slamming down. It doesn't hurt because you have this stuff, but like if you didn't, but you do have this like GS suit, which is like this skin tight suit that has like foam padding in it. So like if you were to hit it, it wouldn't hurt as much if like it was bare skin.
How did you get into skiing?
I started like when we had ski club at like school.
Were you in a lot of clubs at school?
No, just like two. No, but I think it was like elementary school. My brother did snowboarding, so I was like, oh, cool, I'll do this. And so I started snowboarding, and I was like, this is not for me. And so then I did skiing, which skiing is easier to start but harder to master. But snowboarding is harder to start, easier to master. So it's like it takes more one way or the other. But it's really fun. I love it. And it's just like, I was telling you guys this yesterday, but not Braedon. Sorry, Braedon. But like when you are skiing, it's so quiet because like the snow absorbs all the sound. So it's just like you can just hear yourself cutting through the snow, and it is so relaxing. I love it.
Do you have any funny moments in skiing? Like maybe...
Yes. This one's a little less funny, but like also still funny. My friend was skiing down the hill. This is when I was like an amateur. Like I was like still doing like the pizzas down the whole hill. And so my friend was going down the hill, and it was a little icy because when it rains over snow, it's like this like crispy layer, and it's really hard to ski on. But she's going down, she falls. So my other friend's like, oh, I'm gonna go help her. She goes down, she falls. So I was like, third time's a charm. So then I go down, I fall, but I keep sliding. And so there's the big tall snow machines that like blow out snow. Yeah. I slam into that thing with my rib cage, and I swore that thing was shaking. But then they took me down on one of those like snowmobiles that like you're in this like little sled thing behind it. Serious? But when they strapped me and they didn't do it like tight enough, or I must have been too small, no. So I was like with the blankets, I was like, they're gonna choke me out. But they took me down. I didn't have anything break, but I had this like rainbow bruise on my side for like a month. It was crazy, but I'd say that's the craziest thing that's happened. And then my friend also did go flying because there's like a little lake that goes at the very bottom of the hill, and they have a fence, but it's just like a little creek, and there's 2 bridges that go over. But if you don't stop, you go flying into the lake. So she goes past. She almost falls into the lake, but she's like at the bottom. She just didn't stop.
That's crazy.
She was like, I'm going to just go straight down the whole way, not like turn or anything, like carve. And she just went flying.
We have a friend that did that once. And it was funny because I was skiing and I was learning how to ski. Mm-hmm. So I was like learning how to cut, and I fell. And then like the guy who was teaching me was trying, Brother Holst. So imagine him on 2 skis. And so he's like, and he's actually pretty good. Yeah. But he was like trying to help me through it. And then he started sliding back. He was like, oh, no. And then we were like falling and we're laughing. And then out of nowhere we hear, I can't stop.
Oh,
I
no.
can't stop. And we like looked, and he's just like going, all we saw was this. And we're like, oh my goodness.
That's scary.
Yeah. Luckily, he was good. We did see like his divot that he just went boom, but he just made it because there was that creek too, and so we were nervous that we weren't gonna see him.
That's funny.
But
I think of so I have a story where I was over at this one ski resort or whatever, and it was like a very steep down, and then right before like the lodge or whatever, all the ski stuff, there's like this big hill. Yeah. So I was going down super fast. I was trying to do the pizza or the whatever it's called, trying to snowplow, trying to stop myself. And I'm going. I can't. And I come up the hill, and I basically like fly over the hill.
Gosh.
And I fly up in the air, fall, then my ski goes, and like I fall and I roll down. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And there's a bunch of people. But think about, like, I look at stuff as a movie. Okay, so I had the POV of me racing down.
Yeah.
Now cut to the camera angle that was just on the people before I got there. Just sitting there, just, out of nowhere. They're just like,
oh, who is this guy?
oh, this guy going, like, they don't know anything that happened.
You crawling
Up bleeding. All they know is a guy flying over, a ski falling off and landing on this other side of the hill where you're not even supposed to be skiing. But I was just thinking about, like, when we see funny things, it's like we never see, like, unless it's happening to us, you never see, like, the first part.
Yeah.
And you kind of made me think of that when you're like, I can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop. Like, what point of his ride he goes, oh my goodness, I can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop. And then he's just like, can't stop, man.
Yeah. And that was his first time, and that was like a black diamond.
Oh my gosh.
Which I didn't know that they were that steep. So it was like one of those that were like.
I mean, it depends where you go, like what a black diamond is, because you can only rate something so high. But like Colorado black diamond, way different than Wisconsin.
So how far have you gotten? Like you've traveled to go skiing?
So I stopped right before we did like a competition in Colorado. I decided not to go because it was a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
But I also I just couldn't do it anymore because I loved it, but it was just way too much commitment on my end. And it was also really cold most of the time, so I was like, I can't do this.
Sarah Burton, it's your time.
Because you get up to the top of the hill and you have like these tearaway snow bands. And so you have to like take them off and you're in this like skin tight suit. There is no insulation. You are just like supposed to be aerodynamic. And I'm like, for what? But so you're just waiting to go down and you're like, because nothing's heated. Like you're just frozen. But yeah, so I stopped before we went to Colorado, but there was this hill, I forgot what it's called, but it's like the scariest hill, and they went like every year. And they said like they just kind of push you down it and you just kind of go because it's like once you're going down you're like, I'm gonna die, but once you get to the bottom you're like, oh, I'll do it again. It's kind of like like skydiving.
Yeah. Have you been skydiving? You have.
We went.
You did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you didn't go. Where were you?
I think he was scared.
Yeah.
It is.
But most.
It's a scary thing. Is it? You guys literally jump out of a plane.
And
like, why would you do that?
it's fun. Adrenaline rush.
It's crazy to hear all the experiences you've had with such like a niche
Yeah.
part of your life of just skiing. Like we could talk about countless stories and like experiences and like to become a professional. That's crazy. But another huge part of your life, I'd say, to the many that fill up the pie chart, is something that like I think a lot of people know you for, that you've like been able to create a lot with. And I was thinking about how to ask this question, and I found out this is how I want to ask it.
Okay.
Where has a camera taken you?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Because there's a lot that comes with it.
Yeah.
But it's like, to ask it like a very simple, it's like, where has the camera taken you? And then where is that kind of spark of wanting to do photography come from? Did it start in high school or before or?
I've always loved it because, and I valued photos more than like the actual taking of the photos. It was just the picture, no matter what it is, how bad it is or like how good it is. But when I was younger, we didn't have many photos of like our family, or like through divorce, things got separated. So I was like, oh my gosh, well, I want like my childhood videos that I don't have. So I was like, I just grew up being nostalgic in that sense. But I started high school and went on a missions trip to Alaska. And I decided to take my camera because we had a photographer, Joel. He's the best. He kind of started me like on this journey. But I took a camera. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. And so I just kept taking photos. And then I took photos for a missions trip in Costa Rica the year after. And it was like, I was like, this is it. And so I just started having a love for it and learning about it. And then I took like every photo class in high school that was possible. Literally my senior year, I had like 4 photo classes. And our teacher was like, we don't really have this as a class, but like, we'll make it one. And so I was like taking like basically 4 separate classes with this teacher back to back. So I was just staying there like half of the day, go get my lunch, come back. But it was really fun to just push everything I can into something. And like, the biggest thing is I just took photos of everyone that I was like, oh, you want to do a photo shoot? And they're like, what?
It was kind of crazy because that's when you're like building up your like portfolio and stuff.
Yeah.
That like summer and like some change and stuff was like iconic.
Yeah.
All the like the material and product you're like pushing and putting out.
Yeah.
With all these random different types of people and friends. Like I remember like, a few of the photo shoots that I was at, and I'm just like, it was fun. Like one I was thinking about when we were at the playground.
Yeah.
With Emma Jayla. I was like, that was fun.
Yeah.
And you get to capture moments.
He's my camera backpack guy.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
So, but how else is that taking you? So, high school, you start building your portfolio, doing a lot of photo shoots, but then you kind of took it to another realm.
So, in 2020, I moved to Missouri with my family. Rip Wisco. But I come back, obviously. But I moved there, and then whenever I just met people or made friends, I was like, oh, we should do a photo shoot sometime. And they were like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, we're going to do one. They're like, okay. And so I started doing photo shoots with more friends there, and I just kept doing that. And then I kind of outgrew the camera I had because it was just my mom's. That she like let me borrow that I kind of took, but then my stepdad bought me like my first like real camera, and I was like, whoa, because it was Sony A7 III, which I love. It's still my baby, but yeah. So I just started taking more photos, and it was clear pictures, just nicer, and I started doing more inspiration, taking like classes at college when I was there. I dropped out, guys. But I did that, and it wasn't until I went to a concert for Colony House, and it was like one of my first concerts, really, because the first one when I was a kid was it was Def Leppard, which is the best, love them. But I was like, okay. But I went to this Colony House concert, and I was just watching this dude take photos. I was like, I want to do that. And so then I tell my friends after, I was like, I really want to do concert photography. And so one of my friends, Sarah, she was like, oh, well, I have a connection. Her last job was working in concert photography and just putting together concerts. And so she got me connected, and I started an internship there. And I did that for like 3 years. And I was in between jobs while doing that. But then one day, so I was just taking concert photos, learning about like low light photography, which is so fun. One day he was like, hey, do you want to work for us? And so I started doing that. So I was doing as a communication director. So I was doing everything like graphic design. I was doing all social media, email marketing. We had a graphic design artist, but once he left, I was doing graphic design. But then I was like, I love this so much, but, you know, it just wasn't where I was supposed to be. So I kept doing concert photography, even though I left because I would volunteer. But then just over that time period, people would ask me to shoot like events or stuff. And a huge one was when I went to shoot this nonprofit, and my photos got put in a magazine. And it was really cool to like be like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, wow.
And then just people like asking me to do like engagement photos, or people just like, hey, I want to do a couples photo shoot, or like people just want to do a photo shoot for a book, or they want to do a photo shoot for like profile pictures for like their job, or just business photos. And doing stuff like that is just so fun to like learn that and be like, okay, a lot of it is like I learn it because it's for this thing. Like I had no idea how to use like lighting or like anything in a studio. I was like, what? I just kind of go with it. No. And so I like looked up videos like how to do 3-point lighting and like how to make sure that the person isn't like flat against the background and like stuff like that. And so like learning that just because someone wanted me to do business photos is like so fun. So it's just like learning based off what people kind of push out of me, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've countless times said that photography is like one of the main jobs where it's like pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, like that terminology. Like you can create like a whole like career, all these experiences off of like having a camera, an editing tool, and like you're just sheer like talent and ability. It's like so cool. And it's so awesome to hear like all the different things you had off of like I took a bunch of classes in high school and then like all these crazy opportunities. So usually at conventions and conferences, if someone's holding a camera, they are the most favorite person. And everyone's like, take a picture of me. No, take a picture of me. Everyone's always around and stuff like that. So like try to take it a little deeper. Why do you think people love like photos or I guess maybe I'm answering kind of like memories captured and like why are people like so like drawn to the person that has the capability of doing that?
I think we like to look back a lot. Like we like to look back on things, and even if it's not in a bad way, but just like, wow, I love that time. We like to revisit like emotion. So I think when you have someone that can take like a really nice picture or like something that you can frame and put on a wall, people are like, I want that. Give it to me. And so like just a sense of like if one day you have a house, like how do you want to decorate your walls, or like who do you want to put on those walls? You want it to be like nice pictures, or just like there's so many times I look back at my photos, I was like, wow, that was a great time. Or like looking back to see what I was doing. And that kind of takes me on something else. Sorry, this is more than answering your question. But like, I don't think there is like a stupid photo. I genuinely think like all photos are incredible. And it's like some people might be like, okay, well, that's a picture of a dog. Like, no, you don't understand. This dog is one of my best friend's dogs. So stuff like that, it's just like, it's more about the memories in the photo and like looking back and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. It helps bring you back a little bit. And I'm just like a nostalgic person. So that's why I love it. But I think a lot of people just love it because it just brings them back.
Yeah, one thing that I absolutely love about what you do is you're extremely talented in it. I remember when I would look at your photos and I'd be like, okay, how did you come up with this in your mind? Because to me, it just looks like a building, but you capture this and made it look like we were completely in a different place. Or you'd take this lighting that I'd be like, oh, that's ugly, and you'd make it into like a sun or something that's like clear but purposeful. I want to know deeper inside your mind of how do you capture moments so well, emotions so well, and just that memory. How do you just capture that and just hold it so beautifully where everything just makes sense?
I think my best friend is Pinterest. I was telling you this yesterday, but the amount of things like copycat photos, I guess, I look up on Pinterest or like get inspiration from that of like how I want to do a photo shoot. Every photo shoot that I've ever done, I always go to Pinterest and make an inspiration board. And so like someone's getting engaged, someone just like wants to do profile pictures. I'm like, okay, this has to be different, or this has to be like more their vibe. So I'm a very like aesthetic person. So when I like see someone, I can figure out their vibe. I want to showcase that, I guess. Especially when it's just like colors. I love colors. Bringing that, if it's more like they're a vibrant person, I want it to be like fun. Like when we did, I don't think you were there actually. I did playground photos for like Destry, and she's so fun, like just such a fun person. And so I was like, I want these like bright colors to go with like this neutral outfit. And so like stuff like that, it's just kind of going with who the person I am capturing. But I think also the rule of thirds, which is my favorite. It's where like you have to imagine with me. You have a photo. You have two lines going down the middle, and it's like even across the photo. So it's like 3 bars, but 2 lines breaking them up. You do the same thing, but horizontally. You want your photo to be in the quadrants, like this way, this way, this way, or this way, this way, this way. Or you want it to be like where the lines cross. So like the 4 points. So it's just that's where our eyes are automatically like drawn to in photos and just anything. And I was also telling Jayla this. It's like the golden spiral, I think is what it's called. It's like in everything. Everything that you look at, you will see this. But like you don't see it until you hold it up and you're like, oh my gosh. It's a spiral of like what we look at. And so it's like kind of looks like a shell spiral, but it's just in everything. So like if you just kind of tape off a box of a certain spot in your mind, it's like where your eyes are drawn to. But yeah, so it's the best way to shoot a photo is like in those spots. I know I'm trying to.
Did you just look up something too?
Yeah, did you?
I was looking at the clock. I was like,
what did you do? Did you go in a circle?
I did after. Well, now this is what we're talking about,
I
but
naturally just did that though.
Yeah, well, it's like it's created based off of like the natural eye. Like that's where you're looking.
that's crazy. We talk so much about like creativity. Honestly, our podcast, since me and him, we like try to come up with a topic, and it always comes back to like creativity and like, and it's so cool to speak with like an actual artist. And like when you're talking about like inspiration and like copycat and stuff like that, it reminds me of that book Steal Like an Artist. And the whole concept of it is like taking an idea but like innovating off of it or making your own. One of the recent photos that you've done for their engagement, like not the like their actual engagement, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I loved the shot that you had of that they posted of the room.
Yeah.
Before everything happened. I thought that was so cool. Did you see that picture?
No.
It's through the door, where everyone's in the door, but like you.
Yes, I did. Wait, with like all of the family? I did see that.
The picture doesn't move. The picture doesn't speak. There's no cool graphics or coloring or lighting or anything like colors. Yeah, coloring. But you see that photo and you're like, oh my goodness, you can see the anticipation of something great's about to happen. Yeah. And like, it just blows me away that like you have the ability to capture like moments. And I think about a while ago, I told you about the movie Walter Mitty.
Yes.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I love that movie. And I was like, when I saw it, I'm like, oh my goodness, you gotta send it to Sarah. And basically the story is like, this guy works at like, is it National Geographic? Or something like that.
He works at a big time magazine.
Yeah, big time magazine company, and then
he works in film.
Yeah,
like in the very
developing
bottom of
it. Yeah, and then it basically gets to a point where he's going out and he's finding this someone, but also like experiencing these things. And this guy then finds this guy at the end of the film, and the guy's out in the middle of nowhere on this mountain, and he's taking pictures of like these animals, and this is like a huge philosophical thing, but it's all about like going out and experiencing things. And I told Sarah, I'm like, you gotta watch that, because I'm like, I felt like it was you, like just experiencing, like just in the bottom basement room doing nothing. No, I'm joking.
Just doing absolutely
like,
nothing.
She's like, that's what you know? No, but like going out experiencing things, and like it can be all based off of like the idea of like just capturing moments, and like potentially having like a future where like, you know, you could be in a spot where it's like that can be a full-time thing, where it's like you're traveling like it would be like, I think if it's like a dream of like a photographer, like travel the world and get paid for your work and like for what you capture. Like when I went to Europe, I brought a little film camera. I never know what it's called.
Yeah, 35 millimeter point and shoot.
Yeah, what's the joke? What's the joke? What is it called? So you take it and you can't look at it. What's that called?
I don't know.
What's the thing called at Walgreens? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like you're talking about the brand or what?
Yeah, like what is it? Like what's it called?
I don't know.
Fujifilm?
No, man. The joke is that you take the photo and they're like, oh well, you can't do anything with it, and they toss it out. You guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
If I remember it.
That's what it is.
You're making me look silly. No, I was talking about.
I didn't know what it was called though.
After
okay,
you said so
throw it out, it's like
the joke is the joke is oh my goodness, it's a disposable camera, and the joke is you take a picture and you go, and then you throw it out because you can't do anything with it. That's like the joke. But
Actually, I love one of my favorite jokes Braedon does when he uses those for people. He like gets it and then he like takes it for them and he goes, "Oh, that's amazing!" And then he shows them.
yeah, it's funny because they know it's not there, but they go.
You're like, hold on.
Hold on a second, you can't. But tying that together, I had so much fun like capturing moments. So I have like pictures of me jumping off like a bridge in Amsterdam. I have me eating a baguette in front of the Louvre in Paris. I have me in front of like Barcelona sign. Like just a lot of cool things. And personally, it's funny. And I'd love to hear like your perspective on nostalgia and like why it's important to you. Because to me, I like hate nostalgia because I think I'm very emotional about it. I think Caeden is a little emotional too when it comes to nostalgia. And it sounds like that's something that kind of like has pushed like the photography journey to you of being able to have these moments and memories that can like live on. And like also talking from like where you came from, not having as many, but like as you get older, like I can foresee and I know that you're just going to have like scrapbooks and scrapbooks and scrapbooks or albums on the computer and data and like drives full of like just your family as you get older. So like that emotion or that feeling, whatever it's called, like why is that important to you?
I'm a very emotional person. If y'all know the Enneagram, I'm an Enneagram 4, which is a very emotional person. But I love to just dig into that. Like, I'm totally fine sitting in, like, sadness or something like that. I just like to experience things, I guess, to the fullest. But specifically when it comes to nostalgia, my mom is a big part of that. Like, I ask her questions, and I'm like, what about this? Or, like, she'd tell me about, like, her exes, like, in high school and stuff. I'm like, what? Or, like, you did what? And, like, and it's like, man, I wish I could have seen that. Because, like, words are great. But, like, I'm like, I want to see that. Like, I want to see that. So, like, taking photos and going back is, like, a way that you can kind of live through what someone was or, like, what they did. And so, like, I want my kids one day to go back and be like, you did concert photos for Crowder? Like, stuff like that. And, like, be able to see that. And I don't know. It's more so for, like, generation after me. Not that I want to be, like, a big deal. But I want them to see, like, their mom be like, wow, she's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like our generation, though, like, our kids are going to have the most videos and content of, like, think about, like, our children. What's up, kids? This is your dad.
This is your uncle.
If you're my
This is your uncle too.
I'm your uncle as well. They're like, somebody turn my uncle. No, but like we're making a joke right now, but this is real. Like, and like we're gonna have the most like information that they can see as they get older. I tend to, this is like a little note before I ask you a question, like I tend to take a lot of photos and like Snapchat memories. By the way, I want to say I created that. I'm not even gonna lie. Me and my friends, we sent each other snaps. We created an account, and throughout the entire year, we sent ourselves that account snaps before Snapchat memories was a thing.
Are you serious?
Yes, I swear they took it from us. They probably saw our account and they're like, "Oh, that's so smart."
That is
Literally,
so smart.
but then the snaps go away. So we, New Year's, open it up, sign in, start going through, and like half of the snaps we sent each other were gone.
Dang.
It's so dumb. They probably deleted them too.
Yeah.
My question for you, and because I think we agree on the same thing. So if you had the opportunity to go in the future or go in the past, which one would you go to?
Future.
Oh, I thought you were going to say past. Never mind. The only reason I was going to say past is because I would love to see my parents grow up.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to go back.
Yeah. Past would be nice. I'd like to go to a spot that I haven't been before in the past.
Smart.
But, like, because I've already lived that part of my life once. I wouldn't want to waste it, like, if I had a chance to go in the past. But definitely, I think, to see my mom or something, like, do something. I don't know.
Wouldn't that be weird?
Yeah. Like, cause her hair was always just, like, poof. Because she, like, dolled it up. She had, like, really curly red hair. So I'd love to see that. I love to go to a Def Leppard concert with my mom. Like when she was first starting to listen to them.
What is that? Like, tell me the
It's a
genre.
band.
Like, is it
It's like like old rock.
like is it like
Like
Scream or
Journey.
no? Like Journey. Wait, that's cool.
Do you know the song Animal? Animal.
Do you know that one?
Or Photograph. That's another one. Guys.
By Nickelback?
No.
Okay.
I've heard of Def Leppard before.
My
Have you really?
goodness.
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to show me after. Like
Uncultured.
Actually, you just said something that reminded me of something else. You said you would go to the future because it'd be a place that you've never been. One thing that I admire about you is that you like new experiences and you never want to get comfortable. I feel like you're always chasing this feeling of uncomfortableness. Well, how would you say that?
Chasing the feeling of
Discomfort?
being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Discomfort.
Discomfort.
Shout out Yes Theory.
Yeah, you're like chasing that, I feel like. And the cool thing is like
Wait, I don't think it would be discomfort. I think that's I don't know.
Chasing the feeling of pain or like hurt.
Maybe uncomfort.
You
I
were-
think that might be the closest we're gonna get.
Chasing the feeling of
opposite of comfortable. So I feel like you chase after that, but not like you never want to be comfortable, but I feel like you're always wanting that new experience. And I remember when someone asked you, or maybe I asked you a long time ago, I was like, hey, because we're in Arkansas right now. I was like, hey, are you going to stay in Arkansas?
Missouri, not Arkansas.
Missouri. No.
What?
Just watch. We are in Arkansas right now.
Okay.
Okay. I remember when you were about to move to Missouri.
Okay.
I was like, would you come back? Or someone asked you that, and I was there to listen, and I remember you saying that I thought you said no, or you don't think so because you don't want to get comfortable. And I was like, whoa, that like hit me like a train, because that's such a cool thing to think about. And I'm just curious of what your story is behind why you don't want to get comfortable.
I think like everything just draws back to the Bible in general, or God just in general. But like Jesus, he really just pulled everyone out of their comfort zone. Because like the amount of like all of this disciples he's called out of something, and they're like, what? Like imagine just being like Peter, and you're just fishing away, doing your thing. You're like, wow, this is the best life. And he's like, drop that net. Come with me, bestie. That's what he said. But but like, I don't know. I love how, he calls us to be like him, the most Christ-like. And so just doing that and being like, I want to experience everything I can out of this life, and just try to go out of my comfort zone so I can meet more people and just share love. That's what he wants us to do. So like just love on people. And so I can't do that when I'm just like in the same spot. And so that's why like I went to college, met these people, met my friends, and like hung out with them all the time. A lot of them moved. Some of them are still there, but like I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go meet more people. So like I started going to this other ministry and like doing these small groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just to meet people, because some people are so interesting. And that's why I like taking photos, is because everyone's so different and like so fun. So it's just really cool to get to know people in that.
Let's say, right, your 5-year-old self. Let's say, should you visit them or they come to see you?
I don't know.
Let's say you...
5 years old.
I feel like
Yeah.
I would visit them.
Okay, you go visit them,
Okay.
right? You tell them about your life. You tell them about what's happened. What do you think they would say, and would they be proud of you?
Well, I think my 5-year-old self would be like trying to visualize everything.
Yeah.
Trying to be like, what is this girl saying? But like, you think of like when you're 5 years old and you're like, someone's telling you a story. How you look at that is so different than we do today, because we are like skewed by this worldly view. When you're 5, you're just like creative as ever.
Yeah.
So that Sorry, what was your question? Can you repeat it?
What do you think they would say, and would they be proud of you?
She's thinking about little kids. She's like, oh, they're very cute.
I think, yeah, I'd be super proud of myself. I'd be like, bro, why are you taking photos? But I'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think I would also be surprised because, like, growing up, I was very introverted just because my family is. Like, we're not extrovert people except me and my mom. And so I was like, I'd probably just be really surprised at, like, all of the people that I met and stuff. But I'd be like, oh, this is dope.
And then what would you tell them? Like, hey, you tell them the story, you tell them everything, and you go, and the biggest sacrifice you're going to have to make is, and what would you say?
I would say that, like, people's expectations don't define you. And then I would say that there's always going to be something harder. Like, there's always, you know, and I don't know how you can say that comforting, but, like, generally, like, there's always going to be something harder that you're going to have to go through, or something harder that someone else has to go through. Like, I don't know. It's like, no matter what you've gone through, you're going to go through something harder, but, like, you're going to get through it. I don't know. Because it's just, life is hard in general, which sucks. And it sucks to be like, wow. But, like, that's why Jesus, like, died for us. And it's not like he just died for us. Like, he defeated death for us.
Right.
Which is such a cool thing because that is, like, so hard. And it's like, he just did that for us. So, like, thinking about stuff like that and that he made us in his image, like, stuff's hard, but, like, we're going to get through it because we have him.
Yeah.
And so, and in all the hard stuff, which it's hard to see, but, like, there's so much good in it. And, like, what you've gone through. Because, like, moving to Missouri, so hard. Like, I was just leaving everything I knew. And I was just moving to college. Didn't know anyone. But, like, even though it was so hard, I literally called my mom. I was like, can you please come get me? Like, sobbing. But I met some of the best friends that I have today. And so, like, there's so much fruit from it, going through these hard things. And so, like, I guess there's a light on the other side. You're going to keep going through hard things, but there's just so much light in it, which is really cool.
What would be, like, the biggest advice you would give someone that's either trying to get in photography or even trying to get to the place where they are at this crossroad where they have to make a sacrifice? And they don't know what the unknown is, but they know that the known is comfortable.
Yeah. I'd say when it comes to photography, just take photos, and you don't have to have a camera. Watch YouTube videos. That's what got me, like, that's how I figured everything out. Because I'd learned a lot from photography classes, but, like, I'm just more of a hands-on person. So do that. Take photos on your phone. Save up. Get a camera. It doesn't have to be a great one. Any Canon T something is perfect. But, like, ask your friends. Be like, hey, can we do a photo shoot? And learn off of that. There's so many free editing software. Like, there's a bunch of them, but Lightroom is best in my opinion. But just that, I mean, it's going to take time to, like, figure it out. And that's what's fun is, like, it's all about learning about how to do it. But what was the second part?
What would be the advice you would give someone that is at a crossroads where it's the unknown and another place that's, like, comfortable? They see comfort, but also there's the unknown and taking that sacrifice.
Yeah. I mean, as in Nike, you know, they say just do it. but genuinely, you, like, it's so hard to pull yourself, be like, oh, I need the motivation. Oh, I need to, like, get this before I can do this. You just have to, like, do it. It's like kind of like skydiving. Like, you know, you're not going to go back to that plane. You just have to jump out of that plane. And there's only one side that you can go to. So, like, just knowing that there's no way to go back, but, like, what's taking that jump, and especially in obedience of, like, God, if he's, like, pushing you, taking that jump, oh, it's so fruitful on the other side. I've seen it. I've seen, like, my friends do that and just so many things, and it's like, wow, he's so good in that. I don't know.
So that is all very good. And we were kind of talking about, like, you know, being hard in the hard places, expanding out to new experiences, the lack of like comfort in some places. It kind of reminds me of a thing I heard the other day where this guy was on the platform and he lives in his career's in like the limelight. Like he's in the spotlight when it comes to like a lot of politics and stuff, but he's like fighting for the good. He believes in God and everything like that. And on a stage he proclaimed, he's like, Lord, here I am, send me. Right? That's how it said?
Yeah.
Here I am, send me. And he comes off the stage and a wife goes, hey, you got to let me know if you're going to say that. He goes, what I mean, he's like, do you understand like what we just opened up?
Yeah.
Like when you do that, when you make that declaration to God, he's like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
But what that also opens up is attack.
Yeah.
And so like kind of just hearing like those hard things and like hearing your heart of like, you know, I do this because of this reason. I do this because of this reason. I do this because of this reason. But all underlines to the point of like, I just really want to love on people because that's what God called us to do.
Yeah.
It can open up that attack. So I thought that was really cool. But I kind of want to switch up the vibe. Do you have something to say regarding that?
I'm here for it.
No?
I'm
Perfect.
vibing.
I kind of want to do favorites. You've
Favorites.
experienced a lot of different things.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to talk until you can think of something. Because sometimes favorites are hard to figure out, okay?
I don't know, honestly.
Here's the first favorite. I'll do one of your favorites. Something you thoroughly enjoyed. A photo shoot you thoroughly enjoyed. That was one of your best, most fun times. And I think this is, and I'm going to just talk now until you have it, okay?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's hard.
I think I
You
have
got it? Perfect.
I was like,
Great. I didn't know what I was going to say. I don't know what I was
You're
going to
like,
say.
okay, I've done
just
photo
gonna say
shoots,
that.
maybe. No, I was just telling someone this, but like I love a lot of my recent stuff. Whenever like someone asks me, I'm like, oh yeah, this one I did like a week ago or something. But it's so funny because I did engagement photos of you and Jayla, and I got a camera flash just for that because I was like, I gotta get it. But like getting that and getting to do that, and it's like high pace and like this is, you have to capture the moment. It was so fun.
You're talking about the actual engagement.
Yes, the actual engagement, not the most.
I was like, I don't feel like that was. There was that car that was about to run us over, but I didn't.
Let's go!
But the actual engagement, it was like I was just shooting photos, and then my flash wasn't working. I was like, oh my gosh, why is it not working? And so then I had to figure that out like on the spot. So stuff like that, like having a good time, getting to see all these people, but like capturing that moment. Also, it was really funny to like, I have photos of like Jayla just hitting her head on this door. And so like stuff like that it's like you don't want to post that anywhere, but it's like fun. But I would say when it comes to like concert photography, a really fun one was when I did Ben Fuller and We Are Messengers.
Wow.
It was really cool because I think his name is Darren. I think so. I think it's Darren. But he was up there and he was just looking down at Ben Fuller playing. He was like up in this balcony, so I had to climb up these stairs and like try not to fall.
Yeah.
That one was really fun. But probably one of my most favorite like concert photo shoots was when I took pictures for Gable, Price and Friends, because I had no idea who they were when I walked in that room, because I was like, it was just part of what I was doing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take these photos. I haven't listened to their music, and they started playing. I was like, this is kind of good. And so I'm just like taking photos, and they decide they're gonna like sing a song that they haven't sang before. So it was like their song 17, which is pretty big now, but like being able to be there for that and take photos of that and like experimenting with like, I had this prism and like taking photos of that. Oh, it's just so fun.
Yeah.
But I just love whenever like, especially when it comes to photo shoot, I can use a new tool or something that's like fun.
Yeah.
Like one of my friends, he does video and stuff. He gave me this lens that goes on like an old film camera, and it's like a Helios lens. So like the outside of it like kind of fades. It's cool. It's like a dreamy effect. But I got to do that for a photo shoot. So I don't know. I love them all because it's taught me a lot, but like definitely my newer ones.
Yeah. Where is the weirdest place you've done a photo shoot where you're like, okay, let's try to make this work? I'm gonna talk a little bit because there's a lot of different weird places in the world.
A lot of dangerous places, a lot of dirty places, a lot of places that are places. You know what I'm saying?
I think. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
I think most of the photo shoots I do that are planned are in places that I've picked out or like I'm like prepared for. So I'm like, okay, this is okay. But when it comes to like mission trips, when we went to Costa Rica, we went all these places that I had no idea what I was gonna like be taking photos of, and like I ended up in a shoe store taking photos of just like missions work we were doing. Because like I don't know, it's so cool. We were like at this, I don't even know what it was, but it was like a shoe store, but then it was like a coffee shop on one side, and we were like hanging out with like this homeless group, and we were like helping them. And then across the street there's a school that we had not planned to go to, and like I could take photos but no one else could, and all the photos I had couldn't go anywhere, so we just have them but I can't post them because it has kids' faces. But like we went over there, and like there's this fence because like you can't post the kids' faces, otherwise they might get taken or targeted. But like these teachers are teaching English, but they have to pass this test to keep teaching English, which a lot of them could not speak that good of English. So it was like being there for that and capturing that, so cool.
Yeah.
But like it was so weird that I was in a shoe store coffee shop like taking photos. So like stuff like that, I don't know. It's fun, but I'm like, I know it leads to something else. Like there's something more from it.
Their logo would be coffee gives you the runs.
Oh,
You're funny. That's good.
Do you have any
favorites?
like questions?
Oh no.
Do you need anything? Why don't you think of one? I'm gonna ask another one.
You talk. Let me think. Okay.
Yeah. Another one I have. What is a photo shoot? I'm not trying to expose you, but that you're like meeting up with this person. You like didn't know the person. You thought that was unique. Maybe it was awkward interacting with them, or you had no idea what you were planning and doing, and you're just like on the spot. And I'm not saying like there's a keep on thinking. I'm not saying like there's a lack of preparation. I'm not saying like you're not professional. I'm saying like there's like times when I'm a teacher and I go up there and I have no idea what I'm about to say, but you just say a word and then you leads you to another word and you're like, okay, we're kind of doing something here.
I would say, because I've done like, when I did the magazine photo shoot, it was an event, which I've done a few events, but I didn't know what to expect because I haven't been to it before. But it was interesting because I had to take photos of these people and then write their name down, like first and last. Couldn't spell it wrong. And so like I had to take these photos, be like, wait, what's your name? And, like be like, spell it for me. And like so like it was weird because some people were like, what? And so doing that, but seeing it at the other end, be like, oh, well, now my stuff's in a magazine because I followed through on that. But one that I did, which is so fun, and the photos are some of my favorite, was when I did band photos for someone. And like they're from my old job when I worked at Starbucks. And so I was like, I don't know, because we hang out, but I was like, not really. It was like we work together. So it was really weird in that. But I'm a very like, I love to talk to people. And so the biggest thing is when I'm feeling awkward, I just ask questions. And I try to like remember what they're saying. But I ask the questions so they're not something that I have to be like fully involved in.
Yeah.
I can ask them, they're talking, but I can focus on like what I'm doing next, but also hear what they're saying. So I'd be like, oh, like, what are you guys doing after today? Or like, what's your plans? And as long as I hear something, that's what's important. And it's not that I'm not listening. It's that I'm trying to ask something so I can focus on how to do better for that photo shoot.
Yeah.
Because we had like this parking garage thing that we were doing, and then we got kicked out of the parking garage. So like I was like, okay, well, what are we gonna do now? And so like just walking down the street and seeing stuff, I'm like, stand there. Which you experienced a little bit yesterday, but stuff like that.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
You
there.
What has? Oh, thank you. First of all, I love your work. What has been the most satisfying moment of taking a photo? Whether that's you captured something just spot on, or you captured whatever it is, but you're like, man, that was it.
A lot of times when I am taking photos, I'm taking them, I'm like, this is not good, or I'm like, I don't know about this. But then when I look back at them, I'm like, oh, these are really good. But like in the moment, it doesn't feel like it because there's not editing.
Yeah.
But there's the one I did recently with Ben Fuller, and it happened so many times where like, because the artists know there's a photographer there, but they're not like focused on it. But they were like leaning into the photo, like off the stage or pointing at the camera, and like I was getting all these really cool shots. I was at the like perfect spot at the perfect time, and I had no idea, like, because a lot of times when you're a photographer on tour, you know like what the show's gonna look like.
Yeah.
I had no idea, so I was just like there, like at the perfect time, and I was like, so stuff like that. It's just like I'm in the moment. I'm like giggling. I wish I had like a camera on me in the moment because I'm like, whoa, this is so cool. Exactly.
We start hiring a photographer to take photos of the photographer
Like,
taking
hey, can you
photos.
just video me? Like,
Just follow me around.
Yeah.
We'll do 2 more because my next one is probably not a good one to end on.
Okay.
Yeah.
so you got
All
the good
right.
one.
So it has to be a good one. It can be super funny. It can be super short. Okay. What is your least favorite thing about being a photographer? Like, what's the one thing you're like, like, everything's perfect besides this?
I think if you mess up, like especially when it comes to something that's a one chance, like you have all the blame. And I guess that's with every career, but like it's really like it's hard. Like someone's just asked me to do like their reception photos. I really have one chance. Like
Yeah.
or if like your engagement, if the flash didn't work, I don't know what I would have done. So it's like stuff like that. God's really with me because like if I mess up, it sucks. There's one time I was taking concert photos. I was doing a meet and greet, and one of the photos was blurry, so you couldn't really see the person. And so after that, I take like 3 photos of the meet and greet so I can make sure there's a clear photo. But the mess after that, oh my gosh, I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Like my camera just didn't focus, and so like stuff like that. Oh, it sucks.
Oh, that would hurt, man.
It sucks because you literally take all the blame.
I would hate to be in your spot for that. I'd be like,
Yeah, because it's like it's not something that you can be like, oh, we went through this process and it's a whole team that has to blame. It's like you are the problem.
yeah.
Do you want to make a joke there?
No, I just. It is her. Like it's her. You know what I'm
sucks.
saying? You'd be like, it's the camera, but like every other photo was fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we talked about your life. We talked about how you've came up to this moment, all the fun things, all the clubs that you did because you did all the clubs in high school. How like you got to this point in present day. What is Sarah's Burton's future goals or her dream?
Dream. I would love to take photos and travel. That would be a dream. But I would also just like to be married and like have a house. Just hang out, you know? Simple life, but like just be able to capture it all. But also I do rock climbing, so that'd be fun to kind of like take that further. But who knows? I generally like, I remember growing up, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this. None of that has come to be what it is. So, like, it's just fun to be like, oh, I want to do this and this. But, like, I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea. And that's what's so cool about, like, the future is you don't know. But, like, that's why I love when you just believe in God and you just have a relationship with him. Because you know he knows. So it's like, oh, that's comforting.
Yeah.
It's like having that trust in, like, your mom or your dad that, like, where they're taking you, you're like, oh, okay, like, I trust them, so it's okay. Like, when you're crossing a road, you're holding their hand. It's like, okay, I know where I'm going. It's not that scary. But you're by yourself. There's cars flying past. That is terrifying. So, like, just having that in mind, it's so nice to, like, be like, oh, I have these dreams, but, like, I'm not too pressed about, like, if they happen or not. Because I know it's all good on the other side.
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. We truly adore who you are as a person. You're always greatly missed when you're not here. and it's always a pleasant surprise and blessing when you are here. You bring a lot of energy, you bring a lot of like care and love, and we love your creativity that you have. And like I think we understood or had an idea of like your artistry skills. By having this conversation, we have just so much of a deeper level of like, oh my goodness, like we know like an actual like artist, a person that's a professional like creator, which is insane. So thank you so much for your time.
I thank you guys.
Absolutely.
It's so fun.
Appreciate it. Do you have any final words or any final thoughts? Oh, what's your... Sorry. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. What were you going to say, Sarah?
What were you going to say? I don't know.
Don't you have a question you asked once and you're like, we should start doing that? That was BC Procast, episode 60. Thank you so much for watching. Sarah, again, thank you for everything. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow us below.
Like, subscribe, follow, or I'll cry.
Don't make her cry.
I'll do it.
Don't make her cry.
I'll
Make her
do
cry.
it.
She's Enneagram 4. She'll do it.
Yeah.
Make sure you pray today, read your Bible. Having a relationship with God is the utmost, most important thing in life. Loving others, which Sarah has demonstrated so greatly. Love others, love one another. We definitely fueled your curiosity today. So thanks for watching. This is episode 60 of the BC Procast.
What should they comment?
Comment down.
What should they comment, Sarah?
Sarah is the coolest.
Comment down, Sarah is the coolest.
And then comment down what you took a picture of recently.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
That's a great one.
Oh, what's your most recent photo on your phone of?
I think it's a picture of Caeden and Jayla.
Perfect.
I'm glad it's not Lalana and me.
Those were good.
Thank you for watching. Peace.